Hello artists, it's time for another week of art with Mrs. Klein. I hope you enjoyed looking at the lesson today. We are learning about the French artist Georges Rouault. Now he was an expressionist. An expressionist painter is someone who's not so interested in drawing something very realistically as much as drawing or painting something that has an emotion or a feeling. So here's some of the artwork by Rouault. Here's a picture of this picture of Christ. And you can see, you really get the feeling of this figure worshiping Jesus and this figure being really sad with the hand on this figure's shoulder. And you can see Jesus just looking down and feeling very sad being on the cross. I'll show you another picture. This one is called The Old King. He does kind of look old. With his eyes closed, you kind of wonder, what is he thinking about? And I'll show you one more picture by Rouault. And here's another picture of Jesus by Rouault. So this isn't a very realistic picture of Jesus, but it gives us a feeling, an emotion about how Jesus might be feeling in this picture. And there's this light halo around his head, and he looking down and feeling sad. Maybe he's thinking about all of the people that have sinned against God and that he's going to go to the cross. So I hope you enjoy looking at this type of artwork. I know I do. Rouault is one of my inspirations for my own artwork. I love the colors he uses. I love the emotion that he shows. And if you looked at my lesson, you would see that Rouault was inspired by stained glass. He used to work as a person who made stained glass before he was a painter. And actually, when you look at some of his artwork, it reminds me of stained glass. There are these heavy, dark black lines, and then within them, there's color. It's almost like the black lines are the metal, the lead that holds the little pieces of stained glass together. And the colors are very vibrant, as if there's light coming through them. So for today's artwork that we're going to do together, we're going to make a drawing. It's going to be inspired by Rouault and by stained glass. So I'll give you two choices. We're going to do one that's a little more difficult, and then one maybe that is a little bit easier. So I hope you enjoy doing this project with me, and I will meet you at the demonstration table. So for our project today, I'm going to show you how to make some artwork that looks like stained glass. What you're going to need for this project is some colored pencils, or you could use some crayons. I don't think markers would work. I have not tried it, so I would say colored pencils or crayons is what you're going to need. And then after I show you how to draw this, I'm going to show you a really cool technique to make it look even more like stained glass. What you're going to need is some vegetable oil or some mineral oil, something like a clear oil. So this would be the project that would be a little simpler to do, and then the more complicated one would be to draw something that looks like Rouault's Old King. So for the simpler one, you are going to just need a piece of paper, any size will do. I started this one here, and you're going to use a black colored pencil or a black crayon. So here's a colored pencil, and you're just going to fill it up with some designs. And the key to making it look like stained glass is to make really thick black lines. And then you're going to color in all the spaces with color. So here's this one that I did with crayons, and then this one I used colored pencil. Then I'm going to show you how to draw this one, the Old King. And when I'm done showing you this one, then I'm going to show you how to use the oil. So make sure you wait till the end so I can show you how to use the oil. So here's the picture of the Old King. This is a photocopy of a Rouault painting, and I'm going to make an Old King picture here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a pencil, and then I'm going to go to black crayon to make all of these lines. but you could just start with a black crayon if you wanted to. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at the shape of the face. Now remember, Rouault did not make them very realistic, so you don't have to make yours too realistic. So I'm just going to very lightly, I'm going to erase it, make kind of like an oval shape, and that's going to be like an oval for the head. And then I could imagine some lines coming off of that oval shape. That would be the neck. Where's the eye? Maybe like right here. And then there's a nose. Her nose is almost like a triangle, isn't it? And then the mouth like that. Now you can also look at the lesson plan and look at this picture if you want to, if you need to see it up close. All right, so there's basically where my head's gonna be, and then it's gonna have hair and a shoulder, another shoulder, and I'm gonna like make a lot of these little shapes to color in. So now I'm gonna move to my crayon, and I'm just gonna start here. It looks like it comes down and it comes in. Then it makes that triangle. I'm gonna make a really heavy black line. He used really heavy black lines in his pictures. Then it's gonna come here. The nose goes straight that way. Then it comes down. I'm gonna make mine go straight down and then go straight across and then up a little bit. Then I'm gonna put a line for the mouth, and I'm gonna make the nose like that. Now the eye, if we're looking on the side of the face, it really just looks like a line like that. And then let's see, then I'm gonna put the eyebrow in. So that's good so far. And now I'm gonna put a crown. Oops, broke my crayon there, gotta be careful. I'm gonna put this line going across here, and then I'm gonna put a crown on. Maybe my crown goes like this, and then I'm gonna put the rest of the head there, and an ear. You could put a beard like in the Rouault picture, or you don't have to. You can make it your own. You could also make, instead of an old king, you could make a queen. You can make whatever you want. It's your picture. All right, so now what I'm gonna do with the rest of my time is I'm going to break up all of this space into different shapes that I can color. All right, so I'm gonna do that, and you are gonna make your own however you want to. And remember, I know I already said it, but I'm gonna say it again. You don't have to make yours very realistic. You want to show a kind of feeling or emotion in yours. So whatever you do, I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful picture. And like I said, you don't have to do a king. You could do something else. I know there's one person who's been drawing a lot of horses, so you could draw a horse. You could draw anything that you want. All right, so now I'm going to finish filling this up. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to take my crayons and I'm going to color in all of the shapes that I've made. So I'm just going to layer different crayons together. And then I'm going to show you a really cool way to take what you've drawn and colored in with crayons. It's important to use crayons. How you can turn it into something that looks like stained glass. All right? If you don't have a lot of time, you could always cut your paper smaller, because you're going to need to color all the white spots with color to make this work. All right, I'm going to finish my picture. so I finished coloring in my old king. I tried to press really hard with the crayon. I tried to mix colors to make it look a little more like an expressionist picture. And now it's the fun thing that I told you we were gonna do, and that is to make it look like stained glass. So the first thing you're gonna need is some newspaper to put on your table. And then you're gonna put your picture on there. That's just to protect your table so you don't have to clean up a big mess at the end. And then you're gonna take some oil. I put some oil in this little bowl here. And you're also gonna need some paper towels. All right, this is very easy. All you do is you dip it in the oil and then you rub it over the whole thing. So I'm gonna take the oil and I'm just gonna wipe it over the entire paper. And what's gonna happen is the oil is gonna seep into the paper and it's gonna make the paper transparent. What do I mean by transparent? Well, I mean that you could kind of see through it. So I'm gonna cover this whole thing up and I can already see the paper becoming transparent. All right, so now it's all covered. You might want to let it sit for a minute to really absorb that oil. And then I can just take some more paper towel and I can try to rub some of that oil off. This can get a little bit messy. All right, so once you have that all oiled up, I'm going to show you, see if we can see how in those spots, let me see if I can put in the light. You can kind of see how the oil makes the paper transparent. And then if you go put this into a window, it's gonna look a lot like stained glass. So that's how we do it. That's how we made the old king look like stained glass. Or you can just make an abstract design or something with a symbol in it. It is your choice. You can be creative. So I hope you had fun, and I look forward to seeing all of your projects. I will see you next time.